everyone, welcome back to another fun-filled lesson of 제니퍼의Actual speaking. It is time for lesson 20 and today we'll be talking about food in general. We may talk about your favorite types of dishes, your favorite food, whether you have a sweet tooth, meaning whether you like sweets or not, and also find out which words or phrases you can use to talk about flavors and tastes of food. That's all waiting for you in today's lesson. Now, it's very interesting. I was actually amused when I heard someone talking about the taste of curry. They said that it was nice and sturdy. Now, usually when we talk about furniture, for example, you can say that it is sturdy, but this person was saying that the curry was nice and sturdy, and that's why I was amazed. Let's find out how we can talk about foods in general in today's lesson. Are you ready? Let's get started then. Welcome back, everyone. I sure hope that you had something delicious to have because we are going to be talking about food and food-related expressions and phrases throughout the 40 minutes of our lesson. So, when someone throws the topic at you, let's talk about food. What is your favorite food? What would you say? Now, how would you carry on a conversation or an interview talking about food? It may sound simple, but then again, you need to know exactly what to talk about, and that is why we'll begin with our warm-up segment with brainstorming cues. As always, these will help you talk about any topic out there. Let's take a look at the 5 W's and how. The first W is who. So, brainstorm on your own. Now, imagine you're talking about food. What could you talk about? Ask yourselves these questions to get you going. Who or whose cooking do you like most? Now, if you tend to go to a restaurant to have your favorite dish, you can say a certain chef's cooking is your favorite. But, of course, I know that for me, for example, I love my mom's cooking. So I love the way she cooks. I could say, whose cooking do you like most? I would probably say, I love my mom's cooking. I love her dishes. I can't live without the food that she fixes me. Let's take a look at what. What is your favorite dish, your favorite food, your favorite snack, or dessert? Now, just because somebody asked you what your favorite food is, it doesn't mean that you have to talk about a specific dish. You can also talk about a snack or a dessert as well, like chocolate cake. That could be your favorite. So, what is your favorite dish? Now here, a dish, we're not just saying the plate or the bowl. We're talking about dish meaning food. So dish and food mean the same thing. I could say, for example, my favorite Korean dish is bibimbap. Okay? So in that case, dish means food. Remember that. Moving on. What can't you live without eating? What can't you live without eating? You can say, I cannot live without bibimbap. Meaning, I love bibimbap so much, I have to have it. I cannot imagine living without bibimbap. Okay? Let's move on to what kinds of food do you enjoy eating? This is another way of asking what is your favorite food or dish, right? So think about that as well. Now, what does it taste like? What does your favorite dish, snack, dessert, food taste like? Now, in order for you to freely and naturally talk about this topic, food, you need to know how to express or talk about the taste and the flavors of food. We'll do some more on that later on, but for now, think about this question, what does it taste like? Let's move on to when. Now, when did you last go to your favorite restaurant? Or when did you last have your favorite dish? Think about that as well. Moving on to where do you go to have your favorite food? As I did mention briefly, it could be a small mom and pop store. It could be a store on the corner of a building. It could be at a street vendor. It could be at home. It could be at a fancy restaurant. So think about where you go to have your favorite dish or meal or food. Moving on, where is your favorite restaurant located? Add some extra information, okay? It's always important to add details, so think about this question as well. Now, why do you like that dish, the food, the snack, or dessert? Think about the reasons as to why that dish is your favorite. Now, how long has it been your favorite? Since when? Was the dish, the snack, the dessert your favorite? Since when did you like it? Moving on to how often do you have it? Now, how often do you have? In this case, have means to eat, right? So how often do you have it? And then finally, let's move on to our last H-O-W, how. It is how is the dish or the food, the snack or dessert made? So perhaps if you know the recipe, if you know how it is cooked or made, you could add that information in your talk as well. So we are done brainstorming the cues. Please do keep the 5 W's and how in mind and the questions in mind to make it easier to talk about today's topic, which happens to be food. Now then, let's move on and listen to today's actual talk.
Food, food, food. I love to eat. What is your favorite food?
That's such a hard question because I love to eat too. But if I had to narrow it down, I would say any kind of breakfast foods. Those are my favorite.
I love breakfast foods.
I love pancakes and scrambled eggs and bacon and waffles and real maple syrup. Those are my favorite. My mouth is just watering thinking about it.
I love breakfast foods.
Yeah, you do too. But the best part is that you can eat breakfast foods whenever, right? My favorite is eating breakfast foods for dinner.
Or late night after a night on the town.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just so delicious because breakfast foods, it's a mix of salty and savory and also sweet. So you have that great combination together. But what about you, Peter? What's your favorite food?
Well, I love breakfast foods as well, but I kind of have a sweet tooth.
Oh, okay.
And I'm a big fan of ice cream.
Ice cream.
Especially the specialty flavored ice cream shops that you can find around the Midwest.
Oh, okay. So is there a particular ice cream shop that you like? And what?
We like to go on tours to all the little different mom and pop shops and try their specialty ice cream flavors.
Yeah.
Flavors like chocolate coyote, which is a really, really dark chocolate with some cayenne pepper in it that gives it a bite.
That sounds kind of like a weird combination.
It is so succulent and amazing. I can't believe it.
But it works really well.
My mouth is watering right now. It's just thinking about
It
it.
is. I love ice cream too. I have a sweet tooth as well, but I love chocolate. Chocolate, I crave chocolate all the time, every time. So chocolate is one of my go-to foods, my comfort food kind of things like that.
Really?
Yes.
Someday I want to try some kimchi ice cream.
Oh, do they have that?
Yeah, I've heard that there's a new ice cream shop that's got all kinds of funky flavors in Seoul.
Wow.
So we should go check it out.
Let's go.
Okay.
How did you like today's actual talk between Peter and Rachel? I thought it was quite fun. Now, what did Rachel say? She's got her favorite. And what did Peter say? He's got his favorite too. But, for example, Peter said that he has a sweet tooth. He said, I have a sweet tooth, which means he loves sweets, sweet foods. Let's take a look at the actual talk line by line then. Now, Peter begins by saying, food, food, food. He loves food, right? He says, food, food, food. I love to eat. So do I. And then he asks, what is your favorite food? So he's asking Rachel about her favorite dish or food or snack dessert. It can be anything that she enjoys eating. And she says, wow, that's such a hard question. Now, of course, this is not a difficult question. It's an easy question. But when would you say this? That's a hard question. You usually say this when you have so much to say, okay? The list goes on. You have so many things to say, and it's hard to put it in one simple sentence. You would say, wow, that's a hard question. Anyhow, she moves on by explaining why. 'Cause or because I love to eat too, but if I had to narrow it down, I would say any kind of breakfast foods. Now, of course, she said foods here with the S. But first of all, let's take a look at narrow it down. Now, narrow means what? Like a narrow passageway. It's long and it's not wide. So if you say narrow something down, it means to lessen something. So she's saying basically, I have so many things to say, but to make it simple, simply put, to narrow it down, I would say any kind of breakfast foods. Any kind of breakfast foods. Now, usually, generally, we do not add an S to food, okay? But if you are talking about many different kinds of, a variety of food, you can say foods. So keep that in mind. So she loves breakfast food, right? Food we have for breakfast, for example. And Peter says, I love breakfast foods too. Now, she gives an example of what kinds of breakfast foods she likes. She says, I love pancakes, scrambled eggs, and bacon, and waffles, and real maple syrup. Now, waffle, as we may know, we all know what a waffle is, but usually, I think in Korean pronunciation, we tend to pronounce it with a P, wapul, right? But keep in mind, it's an F, so it's not waffle, it's waffles. Waffles, okay? And then moving on to maple syrup. Now, maple syrup is usually the kind of syrup we pour onto pancakes. So when you have pancakes, you will most likely have maple syrup. So she loves these kinds of breakfast foods. And she says, my mouth is watering. My mouth is watering thinking about it. Now, water is, of course, we all know, 물. But if something is watering, water is being added. There is more and more water. So you can say, my mouth is watering, meaning when you think about something delicious or when you see something so good, yeah, what happens in your mouth? It becomes filled with saliva. My mouth is watering is 입에 침이 고인다. Okay? So you would say this usually when you want to have something delicious. So just thinking about it, thinking about breakfast foods, oh, my mouth is watering. I'm getting hungry, in other words. The best part is that you can eat breakfast foods whenever, right? My favorite is eating breakfast foods for dinner, okay? So you can have something for breakfast, something for lunch, or something for dinner, okay? Keep that in mind, for something. Now she says whenever because usually I think a lot of restaurants or cafes these days have brunch menus, right? So you can go to a brunch restaurant and have breakfast foods there. So anyhow, she says that and then Peter says or late night after a night on the town. So Rachel said you can have breakfast food whenever. Breakfast food for dinner is my favorite. And Peter is adding extra information. He says, yeah, for dinner or at late night, meaning late at night, 밤늦게, after a night on the town. A night on the town basically means a fun time. You usually celebrate outside at night, and it means that you have a night on the town. So he's saying you can have breakfast foods when? Even late at night, or when you're outside partying with your friends, of course, during the evening hours. Now, exactly, and it's so delicious, just so delicious because breakfast foods, now keep in mind I did add an it's and a there. If you say food, okay, keep the tenses together. S, you can say there, okay? A mix of salty and savory. We're saying it is a mix of something, meaning it is a combo, a combination. It has the A taste and the B taste. Salty we all know, 짭짤한 맛, right? But what is savory? Savory is very delicious. Another word for delicious, oftentimes juicy and delicious. So she says it's a combination. It's a mix of A and B, salty and savory, and also sweet. So it's got a combo of all these flavors. It's salty and savory and sweet. And she says, so you have that great combination. There we go. And then she asks Peter, Peter, what's your favorite food? Now, Peter says, I love breakfast foods as well, but I kind of have, what? A sweet tooth. Remember, I did mention a sweet tooth. You can say I have a sweet tooth, meaning, that's right, I love sweet foods. I love sugary foods. So he says, I kind of have a sweet tooth, and I'm a big fan of ice cream. A big fan of, a huge fan of, something means you love it. I love ice cream. I'm a big fan of ice cream. Let's move on. And of course, Rachel sounds like she loves ice cream too. She says ice cream. Now, Peter says, especially the specialty flavored ice cream. Now, what is a specialty? Specialty itself means something very special, distinctive. If you say specialty flavored, you are saying that this flavor is hard to find. It is a special flavor, okay? He says, these ice cream shops that you can find around the Midwest. Of course, perhaps in the States, he's talking about a special ice cream shop or an ice cream chain. Now, she says, so is there a particular ice cream shop that you like? He says, okay, we like to go on tours to all the little different mom and pop shops, or even more commonly, mom and pop stores. Now, mom and pop stores are rather small stores, okay? I think in Korean we say 구멍가게. That's very similar to mom and pop stores. But why is it called mom and pop? Mom is mother and pop is for father. So usually if there is a restaurant or a shop or a store that's passed down from one generation to another. So basically, a family runs it. It's called a mom and pop store, okay? So he's saying we like to go to all the different mom and pop stores and try their specialty ice cream. Their very special flavored ice cream, okay? And then flavors like chocolate coyote, which is a really, really dark chocolate, okay, with some cayenne pepper in it. It gives it a bite. Now here when we say give something a bite is, that's a bite, right? You can take 2 bites out of a sandwich, 2 bites. But then again, here we say something gives something a bite. It means to add flavor. So he's talking about a very rich, a really dark chocolate flavor with some pepper in it. So the pepper adds that special flavor to it, okay? He's saying the taste is very interesting. Now Rachel says that sounds kind of like a weird combination. Kinda is, of course, just a casual way of saying kind of. Kind of, kinda, kinda, kinda. Now, weird here means strange, but she's not saying it in a bad way. She's saying, perhaps it has a unique taste to it. It's a strange, a weird, but unique combination. Yeah, chocolate and peppers. Moving on. It is so succulent and amazing. Now, here is another word, succulent, okay? We'll take a look at some more phrases and words you can use when talking about the flavors of food, but he says it is so succulent and amazing. We can say that a person is amazing, a picture is amazing, meaning it is beautiful, but if you say that the taste of food is amazing, you're saying it is delicious. Very yummy. Succulent means delicious, appetizing, and very juicy. Okay, it's very appetizing. In other words, simply put, very delicious. I can't believe it. Oh, my mouth is watering. Once again, mouth is watering right now, just thinking about it, okay? So just thinking about this ice cream. My mouth is watering. I want it so much. Now, Rachel says, me too. I love ice cream. I have a sweet tooth as well. So I have a sweet tooth as well, and I love chocolate. She says, I crave chocolate all the time. So chocolate is one of my go-to foods, my comfort food. Lots of expressions in this one sentence. Let's take a look here. I crave, crave. Now, if you say you crave something, you want it so badly, okay? It's like this intense desire for something. If you really want to have chocolate ice cream right now, that's all you can think about. You can say, oh, I crave chocolate ice cream. I crave chocolate ice cream. But she says, I crave chocolate all the time, so chocolate is one of my go-to foods. Go-to whatever means that it's reliable. It is important. A sports player can be a go-to athlete or a go-to sports player. But here we're talking about go-to foods, which is basically food that you will always enjoy anytime. And comfort food is what? I think the closest expression in Korean is 집밥, something that makes you feel very, very comfortable. It's like your mother's cooking. That is comfort food. Food that makes you feel very relaxed and comfortable. Okay? Now, Peter says, really? Someday I want to try some kimchi ice cream. I don't know about that, but he wants to try kimchi flavored ice cream. Now, Rachel says, oh, do they have that? Do they have kimchi flavored ice cream? And Peter said, yeah, I've heard that there's a new ice cream shop that's got all kinds of funky flavors in Seoul, so we should go check it out. Check it out means to go there in person and perhaps check it out, see it with your own eyes, and try the food yourself. But here, funky. What's funky? Funky could be used to, I guess, express something that's not so good, but in this case, you're saying that it's very unique as well. It's not strange in a bad way, but it's funky, it's strange, it's weird, or even better, very special, very unique. So he says, I heard that there's a new ice cream shop that's got all the funky flavors, all the very special flavors in Seoul. So we should go try it out. We should go check it out. We should go taste the flavors, the funky flavors. And she's up for it, so Rachel says, yeah, let's go. All right, that is the end of today's actual talk, everyone. Take a listen to it one more time with the subtitles and see how much more you understand.
Food, food, food. I love to eat. What is your favorite food?
That's such a hard question because I love to eat too. But if I had to narrow it down, I would say any kind of breakfast foods. Those are my favorite.
I love breakfast foods.
I love pancakes and scrambled eggs and bacon and waffles and real maple syrup. Those are my favorite. My mouth is just watering thinking about it.
I love breakfast foods.
Yeah, you do too. But the best part is that you can eat breakfast foods whenever, right? My favorite is eating breakfast foods for dinner.
Or late night after a night on the town.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just so delicious because breakfast foods, it's a mix of salty and savory and also sweet. So you have that great combination together. But what about you, Peter? What's your favorite food?
Well, I love breakfast foods as well, but I kind of have a sweet tooth.
Oh, okay.
And I'm a big fan of ice cream.
Ice cream.
Especially the specialty flavored ice cream shops that you can find around the Midwest.
Oh, okay. So is there a particular ice cream shop that you like?
And we like to go on tours to all the little different mom and pop shops and try their specialty ice cream flavors.
Yeah.
Flavors like chocolate coyote, which is a really, really dark chocolate with some cayenne pepper in it that gives it a bite.
That sounds kind of like a weird combination.
It is so succulent and amazing. I can't believe it.
But it works really well.
My mouth is watering right now. It's just
Mine
thinking
too.
about it.
It is. I love ice cream too. I have a sweet tooth as well, but I love chocolate. Chocolate, I crave chocolate all the time, every time. So chocolate is one of my go-to foods, my comfort food kind of things like that.
Really?
Yes.
Someday I want to try some kimchi ice cream.
Oh, do they have that?
Yeah, I've heard that there's a new ice cream shop that's got all kinds of funky flavors in Seoul.
Wow.
So we should go check it out.
Let's go.
Okay.
Now we're back, everyone. Are you ready for some actual talk expressions? Once again, today we are talking about food in general, perhaps your favorite dish, your favorite food, snack, or dessert. We did briefly talk about chocolate, even ice cream in today's actual talk, but the next time you happen to talk about your favorite foods, try to use these expressions. Let's take a look at the first one. It is, I can't get enough of fried dumplings. So you can always add anything here, even a person, for example. But we're talking about food, and when you say, I can't get enough of fried dumplings, it means I can have it every day. no matter how many times, no matter how much of these dumplings I have, I do not get sick of it. 먹어도 먹어도 질리지 않는다. 바로 이 표현이에요. Okay? So even when you say 봐도 봐도 질리지 않는 사람, you can say I can't get enough of you. Okay? So keep that in mind. It can be used on things and a person. But here we're saying fried dumplings. I can't get enough of fried dumplings means I love fried dumplings. I can have it every day for every single meal. And you say they're mouth-watering. Here, mouth-watering could be written as one word or an hyphen could be used between mouth and watering. Now, remember, my mouth is watering. We took a look at that. You can say they are. Something is mouth-watering, meaning if I think about it, my mouth waters. Okay? 입에 침이 고인다. So, I can't get enough of fried dumplings. I love them so much. Just thinking about it makes my mouth water. They're mouth-watering. My mouth is watering right now for some reason. Moving on. Chicken tenders are finger-licking good. What does that mean? This is actually a slogan used by a specific chicken chain. You may know of it. I will not name it on our lesson, but this is a slogan that they use. Now, finger-licking good, what does that mean? It means it's delicious, but usually finger is, of course, our finger licking something. We lick, for example, ice cream or lollipops. So if you say something is finger-licking good, it means you have it with your fingers and you cannot help but lick your fingers because it's so good. So if something is finger-licking good, it is very delicious. Okay, moving on to another one. My all-time favorite is fettuccine alfredo. I think it's divine. We often hear this word divine in games as well, but divine means perfect. It's perfect. So you can say that a dish or a specific kind of food is divine, meaning it is delicious. Okay? Just in case, fettuccine alfredo, you want to say this? Let's try it out. Fettuccine alfredo. Fettuccine alfredo. It's divine. It's delicious. Moving on, nothing can beat my mom's recipe for cheesecake. It's the best. Here's another one. You can say it's divine in place of the best, but yeah, simply put, something is the best, meaning it is very delicious. Nothing can beat so-and-so. It means nothing is better than. In this case, we're talking about delicious food, so it means nothing is tastier than my mom's recipe for cheesecake, okay? That's not recipe, it's recipe. Recipe, okay. Moving on to another one. I've always been crazy about chocolate. Crazy about something means you love it. I'm crazy about you means I love you. I'm crazy about chocolate means I love chocolate. It just melts in your mouth. 입에서 살살 녹는다. 바로 그 표현이에요. It just melts in your mouth. It's so good, it just melts in your mouth. Another one, my go-to foods. Here we go. My go-to foods, right? Food that you tend to always crave, always want to have, are anything healthy with low calories. Of course, if there is not a particular dish that you want to talk about, you could perhaps say my go-to foods. My favorite food is so-and-so. Anything that is, in this case, healthy with low calories. Moving on, durian is one of my favorite fruits. You all know this fruit. I don't see why people like durians, but durian is one of my favorite fruits. It is certainly, okay, an acquired taste. Okay. Now, an acquired taste. We say that something has an acquired taste, especially if it's something that you try first. It does not taste too good. It's either too spicy, it's too bitter, it has a strange taste, but the more and more you have it, you become addicted to it. A lot of foreigners say that kimchi has an acquired taste. I think it's samap, is it? 홍어, right? Skate has a strong acquired taste. So, definitely durian has an acquired taste. We'll take a look at that again later on, okay? Moving on to some more. I can't help but gorge myself with sweets. Gorge, it means to really indulge in something. Eat like crazy, okay? I can't help but gorge myself with sweets, meaning I love sweets. I have a sweet tooth. I eyed the chocolate cake but didn't indulge. Here we have two words. Now, eye means, of course, our eyes, but when it is used as a verb, it means just to look at. So I looked at the chocolate, I eyed the chocolate cake, but didn't indulge, meaning you didn't dig into it. You didn't really have all of it. Moving on, I often crave Italian food late on weekends. Crave is once again having that strong, intense desire for something. And I absolutely relish vanilla ice cream. It makes my mouth water. Now, relish here, we're not talking about pickle relish. If you say you relish something, it means you really, really enjoy it. In this case, I absolutely relish vanilla ice cream. It means you really think it is delicious, okay? So please do keep those in mind. All right, let's move on to quickly more. I dig greasy food, especially Chinese. Dig means you really, really like it. dig, 파고든다, meaning you really enjoy it. Greasy food, 기름진 음식이죠. And one more, I find juicy steaks appealing. Appealing means attractive, right? Attracting, it means you find it very delicious. Juicy steaks, 육즙이 많은 steak. 맛있죠? So in that case, you can say, I find juicy steaks appealing. So keep these expressions in mind, everyone. We're now going to move on and move on to our next segment. Welcome back, everyone. It is finally time for a breather, so sit back and relax and enjoy today's idiom attack. Now, we are talking about food today, so I have chosen an idiom that has to do with eating. It is to eat one's heart out. Eat one's heart out. Eat one's heart out? It may kind of sound scary, but actually it has a very different definition, a very different meaning. Let's check it out with a sentence. Here it is. She's still eating her heart out over breaking up with her boyfriend. So when you break up with your boyfriend or girlfriend, how do you feel? Oftentimes people will feel very, very sad. You will feel sorrow and pain. That is exactly what this means. You know, people say that the heart is the core, the center of our emotions. So that's why we even say, I am heartbroken, meaning I am feeling so much pain. So here it is. The definition of eat one's heart out is in Korean, 질투하다 in modern usage, but 마음 아파하다, 가슴 아파하다. You're in pain. So the definition is to feel extremely unhappy about a hopeless situation, to feel sorrow or longing for something. But more in modern usage, it also means to be jealous of someone, okay? So it is used to express jealousy as well. Here is another sentence. I'm getting my new sports car delivered today. Haha, eat your heart out. So in this case, we are trying to make the other person feel jealous. I can say, I'm getting my new car today, a sports car. Ah, you don't have a sports car. Haha, eat your heart out. So it's used in two different situations. Please do keep that in mind, and that is a wrap for today's idiom attack.
Talk about some foods you enjoy and why you enjoy them. Describe each food in as much detail as you can. How often do you eat them? When was the last time you ate them, and with whom?
I like eating bibimbap, which mostly represent Korean traditional food. It is food mixing with various kinds of vegetables. We can usually put spinach, bean sprouts, mushrooms, and mix them with red peppers and rice. You can make this food easily, and the color of this food itself is really pretty, so you can treat it to others. I really enjoy this food because of those reasons. I usually eat this food 3 times a week. Yesterday, I invited my best friend to my house and we decided to have this food together. So those are the reasons why I like this food very much.
네, 이경희님 고맙습니다. Thank you for the wonderful interview. Today we are talking about favorite foods. Let's check out what she said. The good points first of all. What was your favorite dish? She said she likes bibimbap. She said, I like eating bibimbap, which mostly represents Korean traditional food. So she's talking about a special Korean food that she enjoys eating. She's adding extra information, which is wonderful. Moving on to another one. Yesterday, she's talking about her experience. Yesterday, I invited my best friend to my house and we decided to eat this food together. So wonderful. Talk about your favorite dish and give an example of what happened in the past. A few oopsies here. The first one is, it is food mixing with various kinds of vegetables. Wonderful back here. But then again, the intro, the beginning of the sentence kind of sounds awkward. We're talking about bibimbap. It's better to say it is food or a dish mixed with various kinds of vegetables. You are not saying the food is mixing with something. You are saying it is a special dish mixed with various vegetables. Another one, we can usually put a spinach, bean sprouts, mushrooms, and mix them with red peppers and rice. Now, these are the parts, especially a spinach. Now, you should say you can usually put or add spinach. The is not needed. That should be omitted. So you can actually add or put spinach, bean sprouts, and mushrooms, and then mix them with red pepper paste. Now, red peppers, 그냥 고추를 말하는 게 아니죠. We're talking about 고추장, and that is red pepper paste. So please do keep that in mind. And rice. So you mix vegetables and red pepper paste and rice all together and enjoy the delicious bibimbap. Thank you so much for your great interview, and that is a wrap for today's interview. Job well done, everyone. Thank you for sticking around for the 40 minutes with me talking about food today. Now, I did mention that it is important to know which words and phrases to use when talking about flavors and the tastes of food. We'll have the extra info up on our homepage, so please do check it out and try to use as many different words when it comes to expressing the taste of food, especially your favorite dish. Now, to come next time in Lesson 21, we'll talk about relationships. And then on 22, we'll also talk about relationships, but we're going to divide it up into good relationships and bad relationships. So please do tune in for those lessons as well. In the meantime, you're more than welcome to come to our homepage. Come to ebse.co.kr and type in 제니퍼의Actual speaking. I'll be waiting for your messages, everyone. Okay, that is all for today. Enjoy your meal, healthy meals, or your favorite dish, and I'll catch you again next time. Bye, everyone.